Hey guys, it's Mitch from Boise. I'm just leaving an old voicemail right before I leave for my Super Bowl party. I put some bets in. I think you'll remember you guys make a lot of podcast episodes about gambling, and it gave me the itch, and I'm obliged to scratch, if I do say so myself. So I got a lot of money on the Rams. I'm from Idaho, so there's no real hometown team. So I like LA. I like the glitz and glamour of it all. Although I used to be a Patriots fan, which is funny. I mean, how can you not like Tom Brady, the greatest of all time? And his wife, Gisele Bundchen, man, ain't she a live wire? She is beautiful. I tell you what, if I was married to her, I would hug her every night before going to sleep in our separate bedrooms. Anyway, guys, I like the Rams. I love the over. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to see it. Talk to you guys soon.
The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's February 11th, 2019. Well, a week of February 11th. This is Might Be Sports. I'm Taylor Cooper. With me, as always, Kevin Reevy. What up, Reevy?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
CJ. How's it going? So, we're here this week. We're gonna go full throttle right now in this time-space continuum. It's a mere half hour or so before Sixers Celtics. Reevy, what are your thoughts on the Sixers Celtics game tonight? Like, how much does it mean? The Sixers haven't done all that great, obviously, against them recently, since the playoffs last year. They've beaten the Sixers, twice this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's like one of those teams that kind of has our number. But it's like, it's a rivalry, always has been.
Right.
And it's rekindled now that both teams seem to be pretty good, although the Sixers are in kind of a different stratosphere right now. And they're basically they're competing against themselves right now. We're trying to figure out what kind of team this is. I mean, it could be like last year where they won like 19, 20 in a row, just went on a run. But you never thought they were one of the best teams in the league necessarily. But now they have the roster to kind of, really represent that banner. And I mean, I've heard people say like they might have, stat-wise, the most talented lineup, or the most talented starting five in the NBA. I mean, obviously you're going to think about the Golden State Warriors, but if you look at, points per game and all that kind of stuff, and you go 1 through 5, it's pretty impressive. And I think if they do make it that far, not to jump like way ahead, but let's say they get to the finals, how many years in a row now have the Warriors been in it?
Right.
And have that long season?
Right.
So I wonder if they're like how healthy they're going to be, how fresh they're going to be going into that, where, the Sixers right now seem like they're primed for that kind of deal.
Absolutely. I think that the Sixers, certainly the Sixers-Celtics game, is a big test for the new pieces, right? I mean, because this is all about, right now, they're trying to get their games together, get synced up, all that stuff, chemistry, blah, blah, blah. And I think that this game here, they're going against a Celtics team that is automatically in the conversation for Eastern Conference Finals. Like pretty much whoever you talk to, it's either Boston or Toronto, pretty much. And I think that
but Boston's had its struggles recently.
They're having a meltdown. They're having a meltdown moment. I mean, players are just kind of like not happy. They don't seem, one of the guys was like, it's not even fun anymore. I'm blanking on who it was.
I think Kyrie kind of,
Kyrie kind of started that whole thing. Yeah.
Saying, I'm going to do what's best for me at the end of the year.
I don't know anybody.
I think the writing's on the wall.
Right.
With that. And I think that was also, this is why like collusion's getting weird, because all of a sudden, apparently, Boston's not on the Anthony Davis trade wish list before the trade deadline.
Right.
Which is interesting because, maybe he's just, hearing the Kyrie comment or whatever, but I also think maybe he had a conversation with Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Because, okay, all of a sudden, Irving's not feeling, comfortable. It's weird, by the way, calling him Irving. Why do we do that? Some guys are Kyrie. I guess if you have like a unique enough first name, you just go with it. Kyrie, LeBron.
Yeah, I think that's definitely how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's got to be like, if you have a normal last name, like there's Pedro Martinez. You can't call him Martinez. There's too many Martinezes.
Right.
So you got to go Pedro.
There's only one Kyrie that I know of.
You got to go the less common name.
Right. I think, makes sense.
So anyway.
He's acting a fool.
That was a tangent. But yeah, so my point is there's some collusion going on all over the place.
Right.
And every once in a while, I throw these things out there. I think the last time I threw it out was, it was LaShawn McCoy. Like if there was an enterprising reporter out there, they would do their due diligence, go down to Florida and really dig into what the hell's going on with his private life.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing here. If a reporter wanted to dig into this collusion stuff, there's something to be had. Now, I'm too lazy and I got a full-time job. I can't do it myself. But come on, somebody's got to dig into this. I think it's one of those things. This is like a steroids in baseball thing. I think collusion is going on rampant right now, all over the place in the NBA. Players are talking to each other. They're teaming up. They're making plans. And there's a story there. And it could be cool. It could be interesting, but it's just some very weird coincidences that just seem to stack up on each other.
That's been going on for a long time, though. You think about but
but that's why
there's been these
things.
super teams forever, and LeBron's been on record multiple times saying
Calling
how great
people.
it would be that if him and Melo and Wade and whoever could do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't know what the difference between collusion and just talking is. Like if you're just like hypothetically, oh yeah, it'd be great to play for the Lakers sometime. Like that'd be cool to come
you
to
can't
LA.
do that though.
Right. And that's crazy to me because like I just talk however I want to talk, and to think that I would be like limited
But it's not
to ever speaking on that.
so if
You know what I'm saying? Like
let's
to
say
just be
you work
sitting-
for like
go to dinner with LeBron if I'm Kyrie. You know what I mean? Like who cares? I guess because like if the league doesn't want them to do it, they're going to block it. They've done it before. Should the league step up and start blocking more of these free agency and trades?
if you worked for Google, you couldn't go on Twitter and say, yeah, someday it would be great to work for Amazon.
Right. I agree.
So it's like the same thing.
I agree. But
Well, that would
I
help
don't
you
know.
get the opportunity sooner when they fired you for saying that over Twitter.
It's not the same thing, though, because you're talking about going on Google, which is a worldwide thing.
Well, I'm saying
whereas
you're not
I'm
supposed to
talking
do
about
it-
a conversation between two players.
You're not supposed to do it in public or private. So
Wow.
if you're doing it in private, nobody better find out about it.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth about anything, any kind of law, any kind of rule. If you can get away with it, cool.
Right.
But it's still against the rule. But I'm thinking it's like a steroids in baseball deal where like people are getting away with it for so long and it just expands, multiplies, and I think now it's getting out of hand. People feel like they've gotten away with it for so long, it's no longer an enforceable rule.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing's crazy to me because who cares? I mean, like I said, if the league doesn't want it to happen, they should put a stop to it.
Not that big a deal, but it is kind of a big deal when Anthony Davis, quote unquote, requests a trade allegedly, and he's got a year and a half left on his deal.
Right. No, I can dig that. I can
So it's
dig
like
that.
flat out either contract teams or, get a hold of your players. Like they have
Right.
too much power at this point.
It's the league hurting and not knowing how to fix the problem because ratings are down and they're letting these super teams go. They need to step in, make it more competitive so that, I mean, don't you want to tune in and see a game that's pretty much could be a coin toss instead of going in like, oh, that team has these 5 people.
Right. I mean, I can dig that through for the overall look of the season, right? Because for the past couple of years, we've already known who was going certainly to the West and most likely from the East with LeBron, wherever he was, right? So, like, as a basketball fan of somebody else or a different team other than those two teams, yeah, it's pretty whack. Why watch it? But, like, during the season, there's a lot of close games, and there's a lot of buzzer beaters, and there's a lot of that shit. But I do agree that, like, I mean, the super team kind of shit sucks unless you're a Golden State fan. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean,
how do you stop that?
I think it's going to take something like a TNT to be like, NBA, we're dropping you. You heard our ratings, which has been proven that their ratings are down, and be like, yeah, you're not going to have this income. We're dropping you, for them to start to really reevaluate. And I hope they get rid of that lottery thing too.
Yeah, I agree totally with getting rid of the lottery. I think it's dumb.
I think there's a bunch of things you could do. I mean, one, you could. So they already have it to where you can offer a guy a max contract if he's re-signing with his own team, right?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I think it might depend on how long he's been with the team, whatever. Maybe just up that number to a larger percentage, whatever it is. If it's 10% more, make it 20%. Make it more. Maybe you could adjust the luxury tax over the cap, whatever you got to pay on the luxury tax. Maybe teams in the bottom 20% of revenue, maybe they don't have to pay a tax on that,
Right.
per year, depending on how that works. I don't know how. I mean, you could get into like a whole mucky, weird territory where a team literally tanks. I guess if you're going to be paying $40 million in the tax thing and you're looking at revenues, you might literally lock out your fans. No, we can't make any more money. Nobody come to the games. We're going to save $40 million if we just finish below this line. So that might not work. But there's a bunch of things you could do to help out the smaller teams. I mean, just like spitballing now. Remember, they used to have a territorial draft. So I think Wilt Chamberlain, I think he had to go to either the Warriors or the Sixers. I forget how exactly that worked. And it was kind of a weird thing where he was supposedly going to another team, whatever. But I think most sports leagues had like a territorial draft thing going on for a while. Maybe you could return to that. Maybe. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a guy who goes to college in your territory has to play for that team, but maybe there's, I don't know, is there a way you can incorporate a classic draft and a territorial draft in some way? Maybe.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know what the solution is. I just think that, like,
it might just be like the first thing I said. It's not very sexy, but just whatever the percentage is, you can offer your own guy, double the percentage. Make it so much money he can't say no.
right.
And if they're still leaving, then you have to reevaluate. Then you have to say, all right, maybe some teams just shouldn't be in the NBA anymore.
What do they do, though? Do they just maybe lower the salary cap? Like lower all, I mean, but then that would never fly. Make it to where they could only afford to pay one or two superstars as opposed to 4 of them, 5 of them.
Yeah, it's not going to fly with the Players
It's not gonna fly,
Association.
right.
It's not going
It
to
would
fly
never
with the
fly.
fans, really, because the fans aren't going to have any faith that the team's going to be good long term.
Right.
I think teams really just, fans want the opportunity for their team to build a winner long term.
Right.
And if you constantly feel like right now, Philadelphia fans are already saying, Ben Simmons wants out. His deal is over in like 2 years or whatever, he wants to go to LA.
Right.
So that makes fans nervous. They see the ticking clock, and Anthony Davis, 2 years left. He already wants out. So fans just want to know that their guys are going to stick around. When the fans stick around for a process,
Right.
it better last a while.
Right.
If you're going to stick through that shit, you need to know that it's going to, it's going to be worth something over a long period of time. It's got to be worth your investment.
Right.
Philadelphia fans invested a lot of time and anguish over a shit product. And, frankly, if Ben Simmons is out in 2 years and you got Embiid, and I mean, we'll see how this offseason works out and how things are going right now. But if it's only Embiid in 2 years and you're still scrambling, it was all for nothing.
Right.
Because
Right.
everybody's just going to the West Coast.
The West Coast. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, I read something that Ben Simmons' representation said that there was no collusion. It was just him wanting to talk to Magic about some basketball-related things, and arrange like a meeting with other NBA greats or something like that. And that he plans on being in Philly for a long time.
Yeah, right. It's too cold for Kylie out here.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't. But I hope that the Sixers, I think the Sixers can make it far in the postseason this year the way that they're built right now. I think that they're going to sign Jimmy Butler. I do believe that. And I don't remember how long they got Harris.
Yeah, Harris is up at the end of the year, too.
At the end of the year as well.
So I think everybody agrees the Sixers, if they were being honest, they would rather have Harris than Butler.
Correct.
At this point, Harris is looking like a very complete player. He's coming into his own.
Right.
And he's killed it for the Sixers so far.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of skills. He can shoot, create his own shot. I'm not really good enough to tell what's going on the defensive side. I don't have an eye for that, but he looks like a guy that should be able to play defense. He's got a lot of athletic ability, long guy, big guy, quick. So I assume he's good on both sides of the floor. I don't know. And I mean, speaking of Kylie's boyfriend, Ben Simmons, you're bringing up Kylie Jenner over there. That's going to work in the Sixers' favor because what are the odds that they're still dating in 2 years? I mean, that could sour the entire state of California on Ben Simmons. He might not want to step foot in there.
I don't know.
Once that messy breakup is over.
I like the commentary I saw that someone actually went back that her shirt matches his shoes the last 4 or 5 games she was at, which is really weird to me.
I'm so sick of the... Well, I could say I'm sick of the celebrity culture and the obsession over it and the E! Network and all that TMZ stuff, but we obsess over sports, and it's kind of the same thing. So, I don't know, to each their own. But it's all dumb. People are making the connection, oh, well, when she goes to games, they're like 13-2. Who's paying attention to this stuff? Who keeps track? Who cares?
Right.
A Spader type person.
Ryan Spader. That's true.
All right, so
the stat man, wee bop boop bop up.
Well, I guess while we're on the NBA, mid-season, it's about to be All-Star break. Who's your mid-season MVP?
Paul George.
Yeah,
I don't think it's close, but everybody thinks he's like the second guy on Oklahoma City. If you're not paying attention, that's a huge shift that's been going on right now.
Yeah. He's been killing it.
He's by far the best player on the Thunder. The fact that he could be like up for Defensive Player of the Year, and he's shooting something like 9 threes a game and making a higher percentage of those threes than Klay Thompson.
Right.
Who I think just a week ago, I know Stephen A. Smith was on his show saying, Steph Curry, greatest shooter in the history of the game. Klay Thompson, second best shooter in the game right now. So if Klay Thompson's the second best shooter in the game right now, and Paul George is taking like the same or more threes at a higher percentage right now, this guy's like 6'10" and plays great defense and rebounds. And I mean, he's a complete player.
Right.
Like, this is the obvious MVP. Forget what Harden's doing, like the 30 games with 30 points thing. It's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, and it's driving me nuts.
And the Thunder, they have a better record right now than the Rockets. People are sleeping on that team.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, I think I don't know who you're going to name. We didn't discuss this previously, but if it's not Paul George, you're wrong. But that's okay.
No, well, listen, I've been between the two of them because of all the things that you just said. The only reason I would ever say Harden in this situation is because literally him and him basically alone has his team 5th in the West right now. Forget about the 30-30. I mean, even though, don't forget about it because it is great. It is incredible. I'm just kind of like tired of hearing about it because it's just But honestly,
But what if I told you this?
If you took James Harden out of their lineup right now, how many games would they win? Out of the next 10, I would say 2, maybe 1, probably 1.
All right, let me ask you this. What do you think Russell Westbrook is shooting on the season so far from 3-point?
Oh, it's like down big time, isn't it? I don't remember what it is.
Take whatever you guess, it's going to be lower.
30%,
Lower.
20%.
244.
Wow.
That's outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's always been a joke, his defense.
Yeah.
And the previous 2 years, there have been, stat geeks out there that have compiled video that actually suggests he plays defense to figure out, how he can get in position to get his, rebound. Doesn't care so much about guarding his guy. He wants to get his triple-double.
Right.
So he's not the greatest team guy.
He has become that with Paul George, though. He's become
I'm
more
saying
of
that's
that.
why
Right.
they're so good, because Paul George is that entire team. You take Paul George out, I think it's more like, Dwayne Wade in his final years with the Heat. They weren't winning a damn thing because all they had was Dwayne Wade.
Right.
I think no one's talking about how bad Russell Westbrook is right now.
No, they're not. They're only talking about how good Paul George is right now because he's destroying things. He's getting 30 some points a night basically. He's just trashing it. But the only reason I would say Harden is because every other good player on his team is hurt, and he's still got him in 5th place in the West. That's the only reason I would ever say Harden. I don't necessarily like the fact that he scored how many points unassisted. Like, that's just outrageous to me. But I don't know. I don't like hate on James Harden, but I don't know. It's not for me.
But also, like, that kind of thing, like, it exists in, like, that vacuum of that particular situation. Yeah, without him, the team would be screwed. But he's only doing what he's doing because of that team. Like, it's a two-way street.
Right.
So if you put him in place of Steph Curry on the Warriors, are they as good? I would argue maybe not. I don't know if
probably not.
Harden can do the things. I think 1-to-1, most people would take Steph Curry over Harden.
Yes.
But you look at their stats, you go, how could you say that? That 30 points a game. Steph Curry is in a unique situation.
Right.
You put Steph Curry on Houston with the same teammates, subtract Harden, would they be as good, better, worse? What do you think? Let's swap out Curry and Harden. Now you got Curry with that team. I mean, it's kind of exciting to think what Curry would do on his own.
It's like building a new super team.
Would he shoot like, I don't know what he
would just
throwing
shoot
up
all the time.
Like
he would just,
12
every
threes
time
a
he touches
game,
the ball, he just
15?
shoots it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He might average 15 threes a game.
And to be clear, what James Harden is doing this year is absolutely phenomenal. It's historical. It's crazy. Kobe Bryant came out recently and said that they can't win a championship that way. I totally agree, because by the time playoffs come through, James Harden's going to be beat. Just
It doesn't work.
beat.
And Kobe would know.
Right. Kobe would absolutely know.
He went through that towards the end of his career.
Correct. So it's just like, I want to see, I'm not a huge Houston fan by any means, but I'd like to see what it's like when Chris Paul comes back. And what's the other guy they're missing? I forget. There's a couple key injuries on that team, correct? Besides Chris Paul? It's bad. But they're still winning games, and they're still winning games because of James Harden, and that's basically it.
Of course, I'm a baseball guy by trade, but I don't pay too much attention to what's going on the Western Conference.
Right.
I stay honed in on the East because
who cares?
Really, we know who's going to come out of the
We
West.
know, right? Yep.
And I don't make any secret that I'm a diehard Sixers fan, and I'm one of those guys who waited through the process, and I want to see it, bear some fruit.
Right. Well, I want to talk to you about this new football league before we do rapid fire. The AAF, it stands for Alliance
American as. No?
American as fuck. No. It stands for Alliance of American Football. And it was founded by Bill Polian and Charlie Ebersol.
That gives me, a great league would be like the XFL, like that kind of thing should be FAF.
Well,
Football is
Charlie
fucked.
Ebersol's Vince McMahon's former partner in the XFL.
Right. So this whole thing, it started last weekend.
So it's Ebersol, so it's a descendant from Dick Ebersol of
Yes. It's just
NBC fame?
Yeah, NBC, yeah. There's 8 teams in the Eastern Conference. There's 8 teams. 6 of them are in cities that don't have professional football teams or professional, really anything teams. Well, not anything, but football, certainly. Atlanta and San Diego are the only ones that have teams or have.
Tell me there's
I'm
one
sorry,
in Boise.
Arizona. Sorry, Arizona.
Is there a team in Boise?
Because there isn't anything in San Diego anymore.
No, not anymore.
Boise, no. There's no Boise team.
Sorry, Mitch.
In the Eastern Conference, it's the Atlanta Legends, the Birmingham Iron, Memphis Express,
Hate them all so far. No, the Express is cool. Okay, continue.
Orlando Apollos,
Terrible.
Arizona Hot Shots.
All right, wait. Stop right there. Apollo is one thing.
Yeah.
How can you? They're all Apollos. Like
They're
I
all
hate
Apollos.
that. That's so.
Their numbers. 13's, not doing well for himself, but
One
That
didn't
would
do
be
very
like
well.
completely just blew up on
Yeah.
on launch.
That's kind of like the
Apollo
the
11's
Phoenix
doing
Suns.
great.
There's only one sun. How could you have multiple suns? The Phoenix Suns. That'd be a fun bar kind of question to throw out there. How many professional sports teams
That's a good one.
have a team name that's only one thing? Like it can only be one thing.
There are multiple
Like
suns.
Apollos.
There are multiple stars.
No, there's only the sun. There's stars, but there's only one called the sun. So it can only be one sun.
There's
No.
only one sun for us. There's
there's one sun for us, but no, when they refer to planets, they always refer to it a sun.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
I mean,
about
they
that.
all have names and numbers. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, but
it's
they,
a sun.
when they find a solar system, it goes around
A sun.
a sun.
I don't know. I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson's special. I think it was called like Science and Shit. And
Science.
I'm
and
pretty
shit.
sure he said there's only one sun. And
It's ours.
you know what? That's my truth, CJ. So I reject your truth. Submit my own.
The stars are just LEDs.
He's been taken out of the spotlight until he gets his allegations in order. So
In the Western
he's not a
Conference,
respected member of the science community.
in the Western Conference, you have the Arizona Hot Shots,
That's lame.
the San Antonio Commanders.
It'd be so much better. Oh, they were so close. Just go Commandos.
yeah.
It's San Antonio. You have
San
the
Antonio Commanders.
you have the O thing going. San Antonio
Antonio
Commandos.
Commandos.
That would be awesome.
Drop
Are
the
you
ball.
kidding me? And then when they're really they're driving the ball, they're going commando. Like something, it would be amazing. What a lost opportunity. That sucks. I mean, the only thing worse than having a bad team name is a bad team name opportunity. The San Antonio Commanders, like your brain is already going to Commandos. Just go all the way there.
We
Whack.
should see their mascot.
The San
that'd be
Diego
awesome.
Fleet and the Salt Lake Stallions.
Salt Lake Stallions. All right, I'm cool with Stallions, I guess.
So let's see. They literally have what they call a sky judge, which is the official in the box, like we had talked about before, that can like help out making plays or overturning plays or just basically being a bug in the dude's ear. You know what I'm saying?
Should be sponsored by Sky Vodka. I got so many great ideas.
Like it's definitely crazy. So let's just go through some notable players. I guess Christian Hackenberg is the quarterback of the Memphis Express. Akeem Hunt is the running back for the Orlando Apollos. Trevor Knight, the quarterback for the Arizona Hotshot. Let's see. Trent Richardson is the running back for the Birmingham Iron.
Wow. How
Yeah.
old is he? He's got to be like 30.
Yeah, I don't even know.
30?
Justin Thomas is the wide receiver for the Atlanta Legends. Blake Sims, quarterback of the Birmingham Iron. And there's a bunch more. Let me see. Where's the rules?
I only recognize about 3 of those names.
There will be no kickoffs or extra point attempts. It all has to be 2 points. Place kickers don't need to apply. To open each half after the scores, teams will start drives at their own 25-yard
Are there no
line.
place?
There's no kickers.
There's no kicking?
I guess not. Well, yeah, there's no kicking really. You can
Well,
kick
what
a
about-
field goal. You can kick a 3-point.
Well, then there's
Yeah.
kickers.
Yeah, but I don't know. The play clock will be 35 seconds, 5 seconds shorter than the NFL. On defense, teams can only rush 5 players. Any player that lines up on the line of scrimmage is designated as one of the 5 eligible pass rushers, regardless of whether they rush or not. So in order to rush the quarterback, you literally have to be lined up on the line, which is kind of wild. I will say this. I didn't catch any of the games this past Saturday, but I've seen a number of highlights.
Wait, you were like everybody else in the entire
The
country
whole
that
world
didn't watch
that had
any of the games,
no idea.
but saw the one highlight of the quarterback getting killed?
annihilated. I saw a couple of I saw some recaps. I saw some game recaps. Birmingham Iron shut out whoever the hell they were playing. It was like 26-0 Memphis.
Because
They look good.
they have the best online for their sport. Everyone's wearing some kind of chip, so you know where they are and what they're doing, which throws me off because it's live throughout the whole thing. So I couldn't figure out why so many people were running off the field during a play, and then I realized, oh, they're changing players.
Right. It was from what I saw, it was definitely crazy. It looked like it was weird because it was faster paced, but it was slower paced because the players aren't as good as the NFL players are. Like that's clearly the case when you're watching the games. But I saw some nice bomb passes. I saw a couple nice little runs. I don't know who was playing. I got family in Birmingham, so I guess that's my squad for the AAF. I'm an Iron fan.
I don't know. I don't think I can watch it.
I'm an Iron fan. Yo, check it out.
Not interested.
Watch it and tell me what you think. We'll talk about it for next week. For real.
That'll be my homework.
Just
I'll do my best.
Just see what you think. Because
What day is it on? Is it on Sundays?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
Watch it and let me know what you think because I'm going to do the same thing. And we'll just you know what I'm saying? If it sucks, we'll never talk about it again.
I was in an XFL fantasy league.
Yeah?
That's a true story. Now it was at a sensitive time in my life where I was addicted to fantasy sports. I was in a NASCAR league, an XFL league, an NHL league, NBA,
Wow.
NFL, baseball. Trying to think if that was it.
I can't believe you didn't sign up for a golf league. Come on.
Oh, I might have. I mean, I've done golf before. I don't know if it was at that time. I wasn't
don't get
huge
that
into
one.
golf at the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
That's crazy. How would you even do that? Don't tell me.
golf
Don't
fantasy
tell
leagues are
me.
easy.
No, don't even tell me. I don't even want to.
NASCAR's the best.
I bet it is. That sounds
Especially, I
kinda
mean, Daytona kicks off the season, and if you have, if you could even do it with like buddies, you just pick three drivers. I do it all the time, and you put $20 a man, and basically, it's a point for wherever they finish. So the lowest point scorer wins. And it makes watching NASCAR awesome, dude. Especially, I mean, I only really watch one a year, and it's the Daytona, but it's exciting because
Yeah.
there's so many crashes. It can change in an instant. I can't tell you how many times I had money on it, and it's coming down to the final few laps, and it's me betting with like 2 other dudes, and we have no idea. I could have 3 guys in the top 5, and next guy could have 3 drivers like within like 20 to 30, and like there's only 3 laps left, and he has just as good a chance to win as me
Right.
because those guys in front, they're gonna wreck. His guys are gonna come up and win the damn thing. It's happened before, and it's exciting as hell
Yeah.
because you have to watch the whole thing. It's cool.
That's cool.
I just couldn't do it for a whole year.
Right.
It's like a once a year thing. I'm a NASCAR fan once a year.
Daytona.
That's all you need.
Have you ever been there? Have you seen the track or anything?
I've been out of the time zone once. Actually, that doesn't apply because that's in Florida.
It is.
But we've also previously discussed I'm not great at geography. but also I haven't done a whole lot of traveling in my life. So
It's humongous.
I've been near there. I go to Florida a lot, but I'm an Orlando guy.
Okay. Yeah, so you're like 30, 40 minutes away from it. It's
Yeah.
straight shot east.
I'm the only person who goes to Orlando like twice a year and doesn't step foot in a theme park.
Yeah.
I go there to drink.
Just hang
I go
out.
to bars.
Yeah.
Bars that I like in Orlando. I can hear my mom now. Oh, that's great. You don't do that enough when you're home. Stop yelling at me, Mom.
Well, you go to the Port of Orlando too.
Yeah, that's another story. Port of Orlando. It's this weird thing. Yeah, how could Orlando have a cruise ship port when they're in the middle of the state? Ask Norwegian Cruise Lines.
They do.
Well, let's do some rapid fire.
Yeah.
And do our goats of the week so we can get out here and watch some Sixers. Hopefully they smash the Celtics. That's how I feel.
NFL's Terrence Williams hit by Repo Man, snatches wide receiver's Hellcat.
Snatches wide receivers Hellcat.
There's so much to unpack there. What's happening?
His car got repoed.
Okay.
Oh. Well, that's no good. Pay your fucking bills, bro. You're in the NFL.
By the way, Repo Man, great like WWE name. Just thinking out loud.
Bill Belichick boat gets makeover. 8 rings, baby.
Wait, whose boat? I was still on Repo Man.
Bill Belichick's.
Bill Belichick's boat.
Oh, I'm so sick of it. There's already an E60 about it on ESPN.
Well, he had to change it from 7 rings. He wanted to be confused with Ariana Grande's boat.
Correct. Oh, Bill Belichick. Greatest coach of all time. Fuck it.
Lamar Odom. You down with CBD? Yeah, you know me.
Good for you, Lamar Odom.
What's CBD?
Is
that a weed reference?
It's like something derived from weed. It doesn't have the active ingredient that gets you high in it. You can use it as like a pain reliever. A lot of people are using that instead of like aspirin if they don't want to smoke weed. It's a natural remedy. I got some cream. It's fucking banging. I swear to God.
Just say you want to get high.
I do, but I don't get it. I don't use it for that. I use it for muscles and shit.
It aches in my joints. And
No, it works, dude.
sometimes when I get up in the morning, I'm tired.
You can
And
take
then
it.
like at the end of when I'm done working, I'm like hungry. So like I don't know. Like I just smoke weed because it makes me feel better.
Well, that's smoking weed, but I'm talking about this is a whole different thing. This is like a medicine thing.
Floyd Mayweather. UFC would give me $1 billion to fight in an octagon.
Oh my God. No, they wouldn't.
He-
You think so?
No, he already has the contract and everything.
Oh, he's telling people that's what they would do.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's saying it. The contract already exists. It just doesn't have his signature on it, and he doesn't know if he's going to sign it.
I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if I do.
All right, give me something to get hyped about so I can do my angry beer can snap rant.
CC Sabathia signs "That's for You, Bitch" baseballs, immortalizing famous ejection.
All right, I got something to say about this. I mean, really, who cares? I mean, okay, so you signed a baseball. That's for you, bitch. Not that big a deal. But
which would you have? It the Pete Rose or the CC?
it's in reference. We'll deal with both these very quick. So the whole thing. So CC's at the bath. He getting ejected and not getting his $1 million bonus. Everybody already forgot. Nobody cares. He's been playing like shit for years and making way, way, way too much money. And he's an overweight slob. And obviously doesn't take his craft seriously. So this whole signing a baseball, it's for you, bitch. Whatever. He's lame. Who's also lame? Pete Rose, for his signature is worthless. If you have a Pete Rose signed baseball, that has devalued the baseball.
Why?
So, because he signs so much, because he's completely sold out. He's the most sold out athlete in the history of time. And again, he's a guy had no self-respect. All he had to do was tell the truth. By the way, he's still lying, in my opinion. I think he bet on his team to lose.
I don't think he ever did.
I think a degenerate gambler will do whatever it takes. We've talked about this before. What would Novak do when he needed to score? He would do some dirty, crazy crap
Yeah,
and
but
whatever it would take to get
a company
fix.
offered him $2,000 to buy his Twitter, and he said no.
That's the
because-
only example you
so-
ever bring up, and I reject it.
Because he had some pride in that.
Did he
don't wanna
say
mislead-
no while he had a stranger's dick in his mouth?
No,
Because that's what he was doing for drugs.
no. It was the married guy
Which-
sucked him off.
I'm not knocking I'm not knocking Novak. I'm just saying he's a great example of a guy who's been to the bottom. Like that's when.
Oh, I mean,
and
I've seen him.
Pete Rose is clearly an example of a degenerate gambler who's been.
I've
through
seen
the
Novak
depths.
do a whole bunch of fucked up shit, but there's a line that he wouldn't cross. I believe Pete Rose, being the degenerate gambler he is, had enough pride not to bet on his team to lose.
I obviously don't know him
Unless-
personally, but
Unless he was not in that game. If he had any part in that game, I think he had enough pride not to bet on himself to lose.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, we already spent too much time on it. Next,
NBA's Al Harrington. I loved when white guys guarded me. It was time to shine.
all I can say is Al Harrington's same name that Family Guy used for the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man guy. Remember that? That was Al Harrington's car sales thing. But I mean, otherwise, the second most popular Al Harrington of all time was a pretty good basketball player. People forget that. Played for the Pacers. He was all right.
MMA's Josh Copeland. Horrific arrest. Allegedly punched wife in the face.
What did she say?
Well,
I'm kidding.
by the mugshot, it looks like she got him a couple good times. He's definitely bleeding from
Yeah,
the
I
side
mean,
of his face.
What if she was? We don't know what if she was like talking back to him or something? You know, like what if it was something really bad like that?
You're going down a slippery
I'm
slope
just
here.
saying. So I mean, not saying she deserved it or anything, but we just don't know what her part. I'm kidding.
I
of
mean,
course. I'm
he's
kidding, of
an
course.
MMA fighter, and it looks like she got a couple hits in, at least scratched him a couple times.
This is the danger of dating a person whose job it is to be incredibly violent and get punched multiple times in the face as a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Like, I feel sorry for some of these guys and the people that are in their lives. He might not have great control over his temper.
He might be one of the punch drunk people. You know, he's been
Yeah.
hit enough.
I mean, you start off not having great control over your temper. That's how you got into the sport. And then you repeatedly get punched in the face, and it doesn't really help alleviate those kind of things.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather, crazy grouping, Gucci shopping spree, boycott. Yeah, right.
What does that mean?
So,
Oh, the Gucci sweater.
TMZ found him outside a Gucci store on a shopping spree.
What's wrong with that?
Everyone's supposed to be boycotting over the sweater.
Oh yeah, the sweater thing. Hey, it's what was I'm gonna totally get this wrong because I just heard this saying yesterday, but it was something if you had like 1,000 monkeys typing every word in the English language over 1,000 years, eventually they would write Shakespeare in a row. If that makes any sense, just eventually. There's going to be something offensive. If you have a bunch of companies making a bunch of shit and it's all on the internet for years and years and years, there's going to be something accidentally offensive.
I don't know. It's a weird sweater.
It's a weird sweater.
Yeah, I mean, Gucci's supposed to be.
It was weird, but you could see how it's like
I can
they
see.
were just putting.
Yeah, because around the wrist, it's also
Yeah.
red. Like the opening is at the mouth. Like the red. I don't think it had red on the bottom. Maybe it did, but I know it had it around the arms. And I think it was just around every opening in the sweater, they put red, and it just happened to fall around the mouth, which I have no idea why you want a sweater that high.
They just didn't do a good job of.
Yeah, some designer messed up and it got all the way through.
But it's an honest mistake. Like, does anybody, if they had a gun to their head, a literal gun to their head, and God Himself is saying, do you think they did this to be racist or not? Are you saying yes or no? You're, of course, saying no. It's a horrific mistake.
Yeah.
So why can't we all just take it as a horrific mistake? We have to boycott these companies?
For 3 months, you have to.
That's so dumb. But just go about your life. People,
So that someone checks harder.
but like
You gotta
I
teach 'em.
just said, it doesn't matter how much you check. There's too many companies, there's too many products, too many things. The internet's too big. Something's going to happen with somebody. It's an inevitability. It will happen.
The internet's never too big. It will find everything.
You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more.
One more.
New York Giants co-owner AAF will make the NFL even more popular.
Every time I hear that name, I keep thinking it should be FAF. Football is fuck.
I think
Can't help it.
could, I suppose. I mean,
Not until the NFL takes the rules.
right.
Does it make you wonder, like, the only thing I've seen from the AAF is that one clip of the quarterback getting destroyed. And it's like, all right, so concussion shit's going to come up here. Like, they're going to get killed by lawsuits.
I don't
So
know.
If they're allowing those, that hit would be illegal in the NFL, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So if that hit's now legal and they're like trying to make their sport better, it's like, all right, well, good luck in the courts.
In their defense, yeah. No, I get it.
Even if you have them sign waivers, like this day and
I
age,
mean,
in their
waivers
defense,
don't matter.
They're supposed to. They made it harder for plays like that to happen. Or at least they're supposed to have. With the fact that there's no like cornerback blitzes anymore. There's none of that shit going on. You know who's coming at you most likely every play because they're on the line. I don't know what happened in that play to make it that much of an impact, but I don't think you're going to see that every
He just
week.
got past the line.
I don't think that's going to happen every week. But let's do our GOAT of the week, the greatest of all time.
Of the week.
Mine is pretty simple. Elton Brand. He just might get the GM of the year this year. I mean, his actions. It's funny, right after we stopped recording last week's episode, in which we were just like, oh yeah, it didn't really, I said, the Sixers doesn't look like, anything's really going on in the trades, and you let me know that they didn't renew some contracts. And as soon as we were done with that episode, I get the news that we got the Sixers got Tobias Harris.
I was so
Boban.
bummed. We talked so much Sixers last week, and
I
then the biggest thing.
But it's all right.
There.
I'm thoroughly excited with all the moves. That includes the even the bench moves that have been made. I think everything is an improvement. I liked Shamet and Muscala, but I'm really happy with the pieces that they added. So Elton Brand, go to the week.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure about the moves he made so much. Looking back on it now, Jimmy Butler, I think we'd want to have that trade back, but we'll see how it plays out in the offseason.
I got the Jimmy B on right now. That's my, yeah.
We'll see.
I'm
Hopefully
hyped.
it works out for them this season.
Jimmy Buckets.
Could be rough in the offseason.
I'm all in.
But my go to the week is Bob Costas. I went back and forth on this. There was a great article on him on ESPN.com. Also, like on an outside the lines, feature kind of thing on him. Very interesting, a story about how it all goes back to, last season he was suddenly off the Super Bowl and everybody wondered what's going on. And this kind of is the truth behind like his extraction from NBC and how, maybe it wasn't always obvious, but he's always had a problem with the NFL and the violence of it. And he was kind of, at the tip of the spear of the concussion thing. And he's always been a baseball guy by nature. So he was never really comfortable covering the NFL, but he was so good at his job. He's always been, he's one of the best of all time, if not,
Yeah, definitely.
not only the greatest of all time of the week, but the greatest of all time of all time.
Yeah, he's up there.
So he just kept doing it because, we were talking, I think Dick Ebersol, I believe, was his boss, and he wanted to make the guy happy. Those guys were buds. Bob Costas was their guy. So he would go out there, do, boxing, baseball, football, whatever it took, the Olympics. And
He's great on the
at
Olympics.
the end of the day, he was talking too much shit on stuff that the NFL was not too pleased about.
Right.
And when, basically the success or failure, maybe not so much anymore, but during that sensitive time, early, mid, late 2000 to 2010 time period, football meant your success or failure as far as network television went. CBS was almost destroyed by giving it up at a certain period in time. So, your football contract was everything as a network. And it all came at the end of the day. It cost Bob Costas his job because he wouldn't shut up about the concussion stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at first glance, if you hear the story, if you read it, whatever you do, you might roll your eyes and say, this guy's talking shit about a league he's made millions off of. But put yourself in his position. And you actually can. As a fan of the NFL right now, we overlook a lot of stuff. It's a very harsh sport, and a lot of guys pay the price later in life. And it's gruesome.
Yeah.
It's not great, but we all just look the other way. Bob Costas did the same damn thing. He just made money off it. And I feel sorry for the guy because he gets a bad rap. He was just doing his job.
Right.
But again, he's the greatest. So, and he will be missed. But, still on baseball. And that's the greatest sport ever made.
Oh, wow. CJ, great job this week.
No concussion problems
Thank
in
you.
baseball. The sport of the future.
There's just death in the stands.
Yeah.
Basketball's dying because competitive imbalance. Football's going down. Baseball, where guys just chill out in left field, look at butterflies. They're not worried about getting tackled. Stands the test of time.
Kevin Reeve, great job this week.
It's so. Don't lie.
I'm going to watch the Sixers. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you check out a all new Might Be Brews on Friday. 3 weeks in a row for them. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. CJ, see you next time.
See you guys later.
Kevin Reeve, I'll talk to you next time.
Love you.
All right, guys. Have a great week.